Okay, so copywriting, you can also call it, or it falls under persuasive style of writing. So do you all remember the four styles of writing that we had discussed? Can anyone just tell us about the four writing styles?
Expository, persuasive,
Narrative,
narrative,
descriptive.
descriptive.
Yeah. Okay, so what we are discussing right now is persuasive style of writing. And when we will do creative writing, then we are going to discuss descriptive and what
Narrative.
else? Narrative, yes.
Narrative.
And yeah, and when we do technical writing, and like when we do writing a white paper, or writing this thing like, creating e-learning courses and all, that will come under expository style of writing. Fine. So when we speak of copywriting, it is basically writing anything in order to persuade your target audience to take a desired action. Okay, so that action should be in your favor. So it could be like, buy my mobile phone, or vote for my political party, or book your ticket from my website. All of these could be a desired action from your audience. Only few seat left, it's persuasion to attract target client to take action. Yes, so what you have mentioned here, only few seats left, there are certain appeals in copywriting which we will discuss later. So what you are talking about, Rizwan, is the scarcity appeal, when you say that only a few seats left. Okay, so persuasive style of writing could have a lot of things, in the sense like, when even when you are reading something in the newspaper, so you are reading an opinion column. Okay, so in that, the person doesn't want you to take any action. Yeah, there is no call to action there. But what is the purpose of the write up? What would be the purpose of the write up?
Sway us into
Information.
thinking into his direction.
Yeah, so you want to align their thought process with yours. Yeah, so you basically want to influence their opinions. Yeah, but what we are discussing right now is copywriting. So this also falls under persuasive style of writing, but essentially copywriting is what we do under sales and marketing. Yeah, so when you write a copy in order to sell something, in order to either sell something, or at least bring your target audience into your sales funnel. Okay, so like you can also ask them to download an ebook from your website, and then subscribe to your newsletters. Okay, because what happens when they do that, they enter your sales funnel. So it's not just for direct selling. Even you also do copywriting in order to attract people and bring them into your sales funnel. I'll be showing examples of all of the.
Advertising and marketing, ma'am. Like
Yes,
just in
yeah,
short.
yeah, yes. So basically, copywriting is, yeah, a part of your advertising. Yeah. So like if you are working on an ad, like you want to create a new TV ad, so you will be working with a team, and that team would also include a copywriter. Fine. So there are a certain copywriting principles that you need to follow. So let us take a look at that first, and then we will move on to the copywriting appeals, and then we'll take a look at the different examples, and then forms of copywriting that you can have in digital content writing, like writing email newsletters or doing landing pages. Okay, how to work on your lead magnets, all of those things. So the first thing that you need to understand is that whenever you are writing copy, you always have to, the first question that you need to start with is, what's in it for me? Now you are not asked, that's not the question for the copywriter. You have to assume that your audience is asking this question, that why should I buy your brand of mobile phone, or why should I book my tickets from your website, or why should I vote for your political party? So what's in it for me? So whenever you write your copy, that answer should always, that question should always be answered. Fine. And there are these YouTube videos also, which I have attached to the points that I felt there are relevant videos. So when I share these slides with you, you will be able to take a look at the videos also. Fine, but let us just discuss first of all the different copywriting principles. So first thing is always answer this question, what's in it for me? You will answer it for your target audience. Next is customer focused copy. Write like your customers talk. You are not going to write in something like you're not writing to impress someone with your writing skills or your vocabulary. You are writing so that people can take some action, okay, in your favor. So that is why you need to write like your customers talk. And how do you understand the way your customers talk, or what are their key pain points or challenges? You can do a customer survey, or you can check out the social media interactions, not just on your page, not just on your social media pages, but you can also check out the social media pages of your competition. Yeah, and see what the customers are talking about, what kind of reviews are they leaving, or what kind of comments are they leaving. You can also take a look at the Amazon reviews, or if people are leaving reviews on your own website, understand their biggest struggles and challenges. So like if they have used a certain product from you and they come back to your website and they write something about it, or if you are even talking, sometimes companies also give a call to their customers to understand uh, if they have a certain feedback to give and all. So use all of these things to understand, one, the way your customers talk, and most importantly to understand their key pain points and challenges. Only then you can address this question. Yeah, it is going to come from doing all of these things. A good copywriter is not just a writer. They are a keen studier of the human psychology behind purchase decisions. Okay, so you also have to understand that what are the key triggers. Everyone doesn't buy with the same, that the buying process is not the same for all your customers. Like if you would you are going to probably have the iPhone 12 being launched in, I think, just maybe a month or two. So there could be some people who would buy it immediately, yeah, because they may want to be seen as the early adopters of technology, or they may want to do this as a status symbol. Then there could be some people who may say that let me just wait for some time and see the kind of reviews it is coming in, because sometimes in the past these iPhones have had some issues, and also let me just wait and see. And then there could be another set of customers who will say that let me just wait for 6 months. The price is definitely going to come down in 6 months, so why should I pay such a huge price right now? I can very well wait for 6 months. So you have to understand, for each of these audiences you are going to write differently. So for people who are conscious about, who want to use iPhone as a status symbol, your copy is going to be different. For someone who's going to buy it after 6 months, when the price drops, the communication is different, because there the focus is going to be on the price. And when you are launching it, the focus is going to be on the latest phone, the features. Yeah, so that is why it says a good copywriter is not just a writer, they are a keen studier of the human psychology behind purchase decisions. Fine. In fact, you would have a lot of these ads which will focus on this particular behavior, but we'll discuss this in later. Even the way companies price their products focus on, places focus on this. And I'll come back again on this point, okay? But I want you to remember this. Okay, next is features are nice, but benefits sell. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Balaji, you're right. But I am breaking the same thing into, these points, okay? So features are nice, but benefits sell. So definitely you need to communicate the features to your target audience, but every copy that you write needs to focus on one major benefit, which is in marketing terms called the USP, or the unique selling proposition. Turn boring features into tangible benefits. Like in our factory, we make lipstick. In our advertising, we sell hope. Sell a good night's sleep, not the mattress. Okay, so what is your copy going to focus on? Your copy will focus on a good night's sleep, or probably a reduction in back pain, or it could focus on the mattress helping you get the right posture. Okay, so instead of just focusing on your communication focusing on how thick the mattress is or what kind of material, these are going to be the sub points. But what is your communication going to focus on? If you are creating an ad, it's going to focus on the benefit that you are going to derive out of using that product. Yeah, if you remember these Make My Trip ads that were released last year between this Alia Bhatt and Ranveer Singh, each ad was talking about one major benefit or the USP. It could be something like a early check-in or a free breakfast, or what else? Do you remember those ads?
Uh, 0%
Cancellation
cancellation
policies.
policy.
Yeah, 0% cancellation policy. So every communication now, probably you didn't pay attention to these things earlier, but now if you go back and look at all the ads, every ad will focus on one major benefit. Like for example, you had this simple, very simple, like Ujala, Char Bundo Wala. So what are they trying to focus on? That it is going to, you just need to use 4 drops. So this is for the, who is this for? Human psychology. Every buyer has a different buying behavior, so they are trying to cater to the audience which is value conscious, who is trying to gain value for money. So for that kind of audience they are saying चार बूंदों वाला, और पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. Yeah,
Ghadi.
yeah, ghadi. So these are all very well thought of. They actually think of all these things कि अच्छा इस ad में इस USP को promote करना है, and what is exactly the benefit. So they don't start talking about the material, the specifications and all of that. What they focus on is they focus on the benefit. Fine. So you could have,
Ma'am, I mean, before you could move on, I just wanted to add that we are discussing copywriting right now, and it talks about how human psychology should be moved or at least affected by our copy. But, ma'am, I mean, I come from a sociology background as well, and there we read that there have been instances where copywriting, strong copywriting in terms of advertising, was, it backfired in the sense that there was this ad that rolled out. It was regarding some atta that if you love your family, if you love your family, give them the best nutrition, but it was a little on the steeper side in terms of expenses. And then the other one was, if you want to crack this interview, use Fair and Lovely.
yeah. So yeah, that you need to that kind of a balance you need to have, and that kind of a brainstorming and discussion you need to have, that what kind of, because you also need to take into account the popular sentiment. So you are just
Yes.
you definitely, because probably talking about this ad maybe 10 years back for Fair and Lovely, to that use Fair and Lovely to
Ma'am,
crack that
actually, this one
interview.
was 2 years ago. I mean, right now, Fair and Lovely
Ah,
has rebranded as,
that's
I
what.
don't, yeah,
That's what I'm
some,
telling, that till 10 years back, or maybe till 5 years back, you could still have run this kind of a campaign that use Fair and Lovely. But now if you see the popular sentiment, it's totally against these things. So then now if you
absolutely.
release this kind of an ad, definitely it's going to backfire. So you can't ignore that. Yeah.
And it has rebranded as, I think, Glow and Lovely now. However, the product
Yes,
is absolutely the same. There is
it
no
is.
change whatsoever.
But yeah, that's true. But when you have such an established brand, it will take time. Yeah, it will take time for them also to rebrand and to erase the previous memories. So but it's an ongoing process, and they have moved in the taken a step in the right direction. So I
Yes,
think,
ma'am.
yeah, so that's a good thing. So that means the brand is keeping up with the changing times and the audience perceptions. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Huh.
copywriting is always depends on using analogies. I think about that. Is it true or not?
uh, not not all copies would you find that na. So in some copy you would do that, in there could be like another copy that you just focus on probably humor.
Yeah,
So
right.
I won't say that it is like one size fits all. You have any specific example that you want to give regarding this?
Yeah, just like an what mean with that? So vacuum cleaner, ma'am. So
Hmm.
vacuum cleaner, they are exaggerated the things. The vacuum cleaner is used for dust purpose only, but they are
Hmm.
exaggerated things. Analogy depends upon they used short puts. The short put is a heavy bounded material. This is like a vacuum cleaner is a very great material. They talk about these kind of structures.
That's what I told you. Not all ads do
They
that.
are comparing of a short put.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah.
So,
But
but
if you
some of
take
the
a look at, no,
I'm
but see, if
saw
if you,
some of the
huh. Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, but yeah, some of the copywriters they always told that is it don't talk about your products, just show them your products how it works is the most easiest way to sell that.
You know what? It totally depends on the product itself. Like, a product like vacuum cleaner, probably you may want to show what the product does. But then if
Yeah,
you have any other product like Maggie, then
yeah,
you are not going to show what it does. You are just going to then, because every product has its own product attributes now. So the attributes are different. So like, there is no copywriting is very dynamic. You cannot have one formula like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, which is going to fit for fit in all situations. So you have to see what your product is, who your audience is, what your main benefits and the features are, and then accordingly when you take into account all of these things, then you are going to write the copy. That is why copywriters also get paid so well. Yeah, because
yeah, yes,
it's, yeah, it's not
Maggie.
so simple
I think
also.
about Maggie USP is just like 2 minutes. Yeah,
Two
he's
minutes.
waiting for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie is preparation.
Yes, but yes,
Yeah,
one thing which is going to be common, and which is going to, the most important things will always be what's in it for me and the USP. Like you said, Maggie, immediately that USP comes to our mind, 2 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, right now.
Or
Yeah.
the Domino's, 30 minutes or free. That caught up so well with people. Yeah.
Yeah, right, ma'am.
Maggie, even though I don't think 2 minutes is possible or that it's deceiving,
It's not
but then,
actually. You
yeah,
are right.
but
You are
still
right.
people continue because of the taste, I guess.
That that's
Yeah.
why I'm talking about. They are just like an always exaggerating the things, ma'am.
They don't exaggerate all the time. Like if we take the example of Make My Trip ads, they were not exaggerating. They were stating the benefits as it is. They didn't do any exaggeration. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
in
Yeah, right.
some, they also do it. So it totally depends on the strategy that you follow. So it's not necessary that you have to do that exaggeration in all the ads. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So and copywriting is just to attract people, like अगर मैं गोरी होती एयर होस्टेस बन जाती, मैं अपने माँ बाप के का ख्याल रखती. हाँ, these are all, I think, Fair and Lovely really needed to rethink its communication strategy. So these are all things of the past. If they do this now, obviously it's not going to click with the audience. Like we said, keen studier of human psychology. So definitely, if you look at the common sentiment now, or the way people think, this is not going to work anymore. Fine. Okay. And then like they say, you should always like convert the features into the corresponding benefit. So every feature that you have, you should think of the corresponding benefit and focus on the benefits when you write the copy. Like if you have something, a feature like a simple to-do list, the benefit could be get more done every day. Then easily plan your work day. What the benefit is, hit your goals without stress. Okay. Or the feature could be simple setup and the benefit could be start saving time today. So always, whenever you are writing copy, focus on the benefits. Copywriting also have some negative feature. Negative, okay, so there is an appeal called fear mongering, like in LIC ads and all, they can show you the negative consequences if you don't buy that product. So yes, that is also one of the appeals that you can do, but it won't work with every product. Fine. Then the other thing is strong call to action, especially in digital copywriting. uh, Creating copy digitally, it's very important. Tell your customers exactly what to do. So like if this is an ebook and you want people to download it, you have to clearly tell them, like enter your name and email and click download free book. And even the button that you have, this says download free ebook. It could have simply said click now or click here, but it again uh, you know tells what your call to action is, because they want, this is what they want you to do. Okay, so that is, you don't need to leave any room for confusion. You tell people that, yeah, for this particular copy that I am writing, this is exactly what you need to do. Fine. Then
Um,
very important, yeah.
yeah, benefits are like assumptions of a customer or a reality one.
No, real.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
benefits could be tangible also, and the benefits could be intangible also. Like like we saw this example of this, sell a good night's sleep. So a good night's sleep is not a tangible benefit, it is an intangible benefit. Yeah, that means what
Yeah,
is
right.
tangible? Tangible is something that you can touch and feel. Intangible is you can't touch and feel. You cannot touch it, but yes, you can experience a good night's sleep. So the benefits could be both tangible or intangible. Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Then social proof, very important nowadays when you are buying anything virtually, because when you go to a shop, you can actually go and take a demo of the product. You can touch it, you can see how it works. You can have a salesperson standing there to answer your queries. If you have any doubts, they can answer it. But when you're doing it virtually, you really don't know whether what is being said is true or not. So there social proof becomes very important. Pack your copy with results, case studies and testimonials, because like I can keep saying that I am the best in the market. Okay, so I am like the best consultant in the market, but if I say it versus three or four other people saying it, obviously that carries more weightage. When I have my past clients, or you have your customers putting in a positive word for you, that makes, obviously that carries a lot more weightage. So let me just show you. This is a company that provides these online tools. So if you come down, first of all, see, trusted by over 5 lakh organizations across 123 countries. And they've given some names of big brands like Decathlon and Survey Monkey. Why? Because even for WordPress, we saw now that some of these big companies were using WordPress, because obviously it um, the moment you add big brands, if you give their names, it shows that, yeah, if they are using it, that means that this tool is useful or is good. Fine. These all help you in uh, preparing a positive feedback about a particular company or the services that it provides. Then if you come down, they have also given these testimonials. So now see, testimonials also could be like, I see testimonials like, if you go to Urban Company, their app, you will get a lot of testimonials. So you have a small photo and then a name and the testimonial. It could be fake also na, you don't really know, because you can doubt the testimonials also. Okay, how do I believe that this testimonial is from an actual person? But then if you see this testimonial, you have a person, and then the person has given the testimonial, the name is given, the designation is also given, the company that the person works for is also given, and the person is, the photo or the video is also there. Immediately you are going to feel comfortable, the company is able to build credibility when they do, or when they add social proof, even on social media and all.
LinkedIn, for example, we ourselves have testimonials from our peers and
Yes, you are
colleagues.
right. You are right. So why do we do that? Why do we have testimonials or recommendations from our clients or ex-colleagues or colleagues? Because obviously, the moment you have these recommendations, it people believe that, yeah, whatever this person is saying on LinkedIn could be true. Yeah. So this is very important nowadays. Social proof. Then the headlines. I think we discussed these headlines in detail when we did that blog post writing also. You remember? I had shared that example link from Hacker Noon, and we had discussed this, that headline should be less than 80 characters, and it should not be clickbait. Now a few more things. Be absolutely specific. Your headline should tell your prospective customer exactly what are they going to get. For example, save more time the easy way. This is also descriptive enough because it tells you that this article is about saving time, versus save 2 hours per day with these 7 productivity hacks. So, the moment I see a title like this, I'll be like, okay, if I read this, they're going to give me 7 productivity hacks, and it may help me save up to like 2 hours in a day. Use numbers, very important, because people tend to believe in numbers. Like if I say that my app has been downloaded, or for that matter, let me come back to this, because someone was asking about the plugins, no? So let me, when you have to decide about a plugin, which plugin should you install? So there are certain numbers given there, that how many number of people have installed it, and what kind of reviews does it have. So let's just see these plugins. You have 5-star ratings, 894 people, and 5+ million active installations. And within the social sharing buttons also, if I had to choose between the top 4 plugins, if I had to choose between them, these numbers are going to help me. Now I'm in a virtual setup. I actually can't go and talk to a person, but I have this. I have these numbers to help me. 5,000 people have given reviews, and it has more than 2 lakh active installations. 5,000 versus only 320 people, and 1 lakh active installation. Here itself, I can decide that I'm going to use this versus this. Yeah. So numbers are also very important. If you can add numbers, definitely it is going to help you, convert fast. In fact, if you would see a lot of these blog articles and all nowadays, you would see top 7 benefits, top 10 tips. Because why do you think people are writing such headlines? Because these are doing well. People tend to click on these headlines more, versus something like save more time the easy way. If you test between this kind of a title versus this, definitely you are going to get more clicks when you write. The content would be the same, but just because of the headline that you've written, you are going to get more clicks. Okay. And then another thing that you can do in your headline is to use emotionally charged words like crazy, now, fast, mistake, new, breakthrough, amazing. So if you combine all these things and numbers, I mean, chances are, I mean, this is what is working now. Okay. It could probably not work 2 years down the line, but definitely this is getting you results these days. So if you can add these things in your headlines, definitely it is going to help you get more clicks. Fine. Then another few things that you need to take into account is write like you talk. See, you are writing in most likely to sell something, so you don't want to stress your potential customer with very Shashi Tharoor kind of language. You won't do that. Write simply. Try to just convey your benefits, try to give a strong call to action, focus on your headline and all, but write in a simple language. You are not writing story, you're not writing poetry. Okay, you are writing to sell. Fine. Then short sentences. So itana bada sentence bhi mat likho that you keep adding comma and colon and hyphen, and then you create such long sentences that people forget where they started from. That doesn't work with copywriting. You have to keep it short. Then write to one person. See this one. Lots of people struggle with weight loss. They've tried diets, they've tried exercise, but nothing seems to work. Now this also will give you an idea. Yeah, this is about weight loss. This versus this. If you're reading this, it means that you're struggling to lose weight. You tried diets, you tried exercise, but nothing seems to work. Now you see, this is talking to someone like generic, but here when you read this, you will get the feeling that yes, this person understands my struggles and they are writing to me. Yeah, so when you are writing copy, write to one person versus writing to an entire crowd. Active voice, very important. I've been telling you again and again, in digital content writing, always write in the active voice. You tried diets versus diets have been tried by you. The second one looks, doesn't carry impact at all, does it? Diets have been tried by you? Not at all. You tried diets, you tried exercise. So always write in the active voice. Again, no big words. Hard to read is equal to won't read. So keep simple, so use simple words. And another, use crooked numbers. As it turns out, crooked numbers are more believable than round numbers. Again, coming back to this point, keen studier of human psychology. So like, if I told you that my app has been downloaded, so if in my copy I write that my app has been downloaded by has been downloaded 5,000 times versus saying my app has been downloaded 4,297 times, which one is more believable?
The second one, 4,200.
Yeah, because then you feel, yeah, this is the exact number. They're talking about the exact number. Or for that matter, even if we are talking about numbers, have you noticed that any or most of these companies, when they write their when they do their pricing, the price is 8,000, but what do they price it at?
7,999.
7,999. Why do you? Every company, more, they will never do it 8,000. They will always do it 7,999. Why do they do that? Again, human psychology. We know that 7,999 is closer to 8,000, but still,
Plus
I think,
bonus.
but somewhere in our mind, it's always like, acha, 8,000 ka hai, ye 7,000 ka hai. Somewhere in our mind, we do think like that. Yeah. So definitely these things do work. Okay. And crooked numbers, definitely. Even if you're like, a lot of times people give out imaginary numbers, they're not giving the real figures, but in that, instead of giving out a like round numbers, give a like a crooked number, like 4,297. Fine. So these are some of the copywriting principles that you need to keep in mind. Combined with this, you have to work with appeals in copywriting also. Like, you have a rational appeal, you have an emotional appeal, you have a social appeal, or you have a fear monger appeal also. Like, what Rizwan mentioned, that some ads also show the negative consequences. Yeah. So you combine the copywriting principles with these appeals in copywriting, and then you finally come down to writing your message. Fine. But this is something which I'll not start today, because obviously this is going to take time, because I also have to make you do an exercise on this. So I'm going to stop here. When we come back on Monday, we'll start with appeals in copywriting.
Ma'am, I have shared a link to a particular YouTube video in the comment in the chat section. So the video, it's actually one of the copywriters, one of the best copywriters, has actually delivered a speech at TEDx, and it was about how you can write a very effective copy.
Okay, okay.
And see, the title itself is really nice. It's really cool. Declaring war on bland.
Wow. See, declaring war on bland. Yes, because he's an established copywriter, so he knows headlines make a lot of difference. So yeah, I mean, you've gone through the entire video.
Yes, ma'am. I saw it a month ago, and I have kept it bookmarked because it's
Okay.
really helpful.
So definitely, I mean, Purvi has shared this link on YouTube. I would suggest that all of you also, take a look. Fine. Okay.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now, or otherwise, I'll see all of you on Monday.